All right, as you're ready, unmute or raise your hand. Leslie.
I wanted to add something to last week's talk about how hard it is to have children who are struggling.
Oh, please.
Yeah. So I have 3 children, and 2 of them are healthy, and one of them is very challenged emotionally. And she's 46, so I've been doing this for a long time. And I wanted to pass on that the best thing my therapist ever said to me was, everybody has their own path.
Mm.
And that made me be able to accept much better whatever her path is. That is her path, and that's an important path. And I can't change it, I can't heal it. And I know that every mother has like a invisible umbilical cord to their child that's very, very thin. No matter how many times you try to cut it, it still exists.
Yeah.
And, I still have that, but it's really helped me tremendously to realize this is her path. So that's what I wanted to say.
Thank you. Those are words of peace and equanimity.
We have to get there no matter what the situation is,
Right. Yeah.
It takes time, it takes work, it takes practice.
Exactly.
And it takes coming across people who are wise and who can guide you.
Yeah. And can give you the right words when you need them.
Right. So I hope that is helpful to all listening.
We're all involved, yes.
Yeah.
We fathers have our own umbilical cords too, so.
I guess you do. Yeah.
We do.
Okay.
All right. Sandra.
I'm a little worried about not having the class every week.
Oh.
And losing my momentum. And it's been very helpful for me to maintain a daily practice. And I don't know, maybe in anticipation of you're taking a break, I was rebelling this week and having trouble sitting. Feeling very restless and choosing not to do the whole half-hour recording. And I feel like I'm in danger of losing it altogether.
Well, I'll just make what I know in the past, some summers, and I actually don't remember who has volunteered to like open a Zoom room on Tuesday nights and have people sit together. But that's a possibility if anybody feels that they can manage that. That's a possibility. I mean, you wouldn't have me, but you would have each other. And I think that's a huge amount of the class in itself, just having other people to sit with. And so if anybody's interested in doing that, they can send me an email afterwards and I'll advertise it to people.
You have any advice about restlessness?
Yeah. I'm curious. It sounds like there's some part of you that worries that you can't do this on your own. Can you say more about that, about what that worry is or what that feeling is?
Well, it's been a long time coming that I've tried to establish a daily practice, and this is really the first time that I've managed it. It's been, maybe 3 months now. I started doing it before the first session that I did with you. And they say, if you do something 21 days in a row, it becomes a habit. And then you don't have to think about it. That's not true.
Uh-huh.
For this, it's like, unless I do it exactly the same every day, wake up, don't think about anything, sit right away, turn on the recording. It won't happen. So,
I find the same thing, actually.
yeah.
I do it pretty much. I have my tea and then I sit. And that pattern is almost never, not there's occasional moments when I can't do that, but and then I'm sure it's going to happen.
Mhm.
And if I alter that little sequence, I'm not so sure it's going to happen. That's my experience too. Can you say anything about the part of you that like resists meditating? Who is that?
Yeah. Um, yeah, it's probably a pretty young part of me that doesn't want to be held accountable,
Hmm.
doesn't want that structure to be reined in by, I guess. Um,
How do you feel toward her?
Oh, I kind of get a kick out of her. She's feisty.
Uh-huh.
Um, yeah, I'm probably too permissive with her.
Possibly, but my thought is to be more conscious of her when you're sitting down to meditate and invite her to be with you, meditate with you, include her, you know.
Mm.
And it's my experience, even I have parts that resist. After 40 years of doing this, they still exist. It's not, it's not like they just poof disappear. And so my first kind of strategy is to just like insist against the resistance. But I don't necessarily think that's the wisest.
Mm.
Sometimes I think the more wise way is to kind of feel into it a bit, feel into the resistance. Like, what in me is resisting right now? And there's usually a story, like, oh, I need to do this, that, or the other thing. But I try to feel beneath the story because the story is often kind of BS. Story is often just a cover story. And where that will often lead me is to a deeper level of feeling. That the times when I resist meditating is kind of when I don't want to feel. There's something there to feel. And so to take the time to just be with that resistance and feel into it and inquire, it can break through to what's really present on an emotional level when we're sitting. And I think it's not easy to be with oneself. It's often not easy to be with oneself. And that's what meditation asks us to be, is to be with ourselves. And in some way, it's a little bit of a trick to have you be with your breath because your breath's right at the heart of everything. And so it's a way to be with yourself without telling people that, because that might scare them off. But when you're with your breath, and your breath really does reflect what's true inside you, you settle into some greater presence with yourself. So that's my suggestion, is take it on a little bit. Take this resistance and spend a little time with it as you're sitting down, whether it's this young part of you who just wants to be free, or it's other parts of you that want to run away from yourself, to actually kind of like bring them in. Come on, guys. let's sit. And so sometimes when I'm in that place, my meditation doesn't look like just the breath. It looks like me sitting and kind of feeling into some of those energies that I just noticed once I actually kind of invited these parts of me to sit with me. And that's really valuable practice.
Thank you.
Yeah, you're welcome. And if you know anybody else who meditates, you can always make a deal to meditate at the same time. You don't even have to have the Zoom going. Check in on the phone, did you do it? Little text. That can be helpful. We are social animals. And the fact that somebody else is doing this at the same time, it just like tells our system this is worth doing. And so, so often if we just sit down alone in our room and it's sort of like, the rest of the world's rushing off to get to work or whatever, looking at their phone and scrolling through Facebook, we can kind of feel like, oh, well, is this, really worth doing? But just the presence of other people, the fact that other people are doing it at the same time, it registers in a human being. We're wired that way. So use all those tools. Right. To say it also helps that I enjoy meditating. It makes it so much easier. And to think that I'm supposed to or I have to, that kind of poisons it in a certain way. So I get to meditate in the morning. And I've just done that long enough that most of the time I really do look forward to it. All right, anyone else want to speak tonight? So Jack.
Yeah. Hey, Mark. Yeah. So I've been retired for about 5 or 6 weeks now. And
oh, congratulations.
Thank you very much.
It's not as easy as it sounds sometimes.
Well, it is and it isn't. I'm thrilled to be unburdened by the going down Route 116 for about a half an hour over the notch.
Yeah.
And I would always, when I would get to work, I'd always say to myself, geez, I don't remember going over the notch, but I had to go over the notch. That's the only way to get here is to go over the notch. So there's a lot of daydreaming along the way. But when I would turn off the radio, I would feel much better about, kind of like getting some time in with myself. And I forget Nick's wife's name.
Jennifer,
in your little chat with her last week when you were talking about things that were coming up in life events that you weren't ready for. And, it's kind of hard to be ready for retirement because it's, I feel like I'm being unmasked because for a long, long time, I have given excuses of why I couldn't do one thing or another. And it was always because the work was in the way. Otherwise, I'd love to do it. So now I'm finding myself doing kind of subconsciously what I really want to do, sort of, but not really, because in an ideal world, I would not be, scrolling through YouTube, which I'm a terrible candidate for because I'm interested in lots of stuff, and they have lots of stuff there. And I go from one to another and bounce around, and it's just like everything. And it's just, my goodness, sometimes I think it was wonderful. And then I find some time going by and I'm thinking it's not totally satisfying. But I am sitting more regularly. First thing in the morning, I swing my legs around, and before I hit the ground, it's just like I got to breathe for 20 minutes because this is the only thing that's going to like center me for the day. And the class has been good for me too. You know, I consider myself kind of a soft touch in my family anyway, and sometimes it's kind of a disparaging term that you know, like if somebody's going to be a little weepy, it'll be me, which I'm not ashamed about at all, really, because things do touch me, and sometimes I can just hear a story and think of the when people are dedicated to doing certain things, particularly with their family members, and just the love that's in there, it just really gets to me, you know. And I have had the great good fortune of having wonderful parents, especially my mom, who you know, raised a whole bunch of kids and did a wonderful job. And not all of them. It wasn't easy. It wasn't easy, and I just, you know, with Mother's Day, I called my sisters, and we just it was good to reminisce. So this class is part of the balance and the rhythm of the week. So I'm not going to have a resentment for not having class, and I'm sure I could pick up some YouTube stuff on it too. So I'm going to do okay and look forward to the fall. But I
All right,
really,
Jim.
when I make a gratitude list, you're really right up there, Mark, for you know, talking about what matters, and that matters a lot to me and my family. That just think the world of me, and I don't have to do a lot either. Just kind of show up and, you know, just be part of the gang. So that's all
Well,
I have. Thanks.
I'm happy to fill that role. And I have to say, uh, I'm touched by the years of your dedication to my classes. And you're just like part of the staple of teaching is to have you there in the room, you know, for goodness, 25 years, something like
Yeah,
that.
yeah.
Yeah,
Somewhere around the turn of the century.
25 years, somewhere around the turn of the century, you started. So I appreciate that, Jack.
Thanks.
And good luck. No, good luck with retirement. I will say it's not always an easy transition for people. I've counseled many people who have gone into retirement, and so you know, it takes some time to find what you really find worthwhile doing. So
Yeah,
good luck.
well, thank you. And what comes to mind is survival, but that can only last so long.
Yeah, you'll find a rhythm.
Thanks.
Okay, take care.